So let's get into the last story of the night.
We go from.
Let's get into the last story of the night. I know, but before we dive into this, before we talk about Ezra, we do need to talk about Ezra. I do need to set a primer. So please enjoy this news broadcast.
The Flash in DC Comics movies has been arrested for disorderly conduct and harassment in Hilo, Hawaii. Police say that Miller got agitated and began yelling obscenities at people at a bar who singing karaoke. Then police say Miller grabbed the microphone from a woman singing karaoke and later lunged at a man that was playing darts. Bail was $500, which Miller paid and was released. Miller's representatives have not yet publicly commented.
Now, we know that with Ezra Miller, there's now been more information. There's been a restraining order against the couple that bailed him out. There has been a court date set for
Not
April
against
13th.
the couple. The couple made
Sorry, the couple filed. Thank you.
him.
The restraining order against him by the couple. And then there's been this weird scenario that's been going around that I've noticed in the subsequent couple of days from certain people who are trying to argue that Ezra did nothing wrong and that there's video evidence. Have you heard this? Have you heard this, Caden? Have you heard this, Aggie?
No.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen the account too.
The video evidence. There's folks. Have you seen this? Is the clip? Check this out. TMZ. Right, we're seeing Ezra outside of a bar, and he is. I don't know why the video is jittery, but it is. I apologize. But you can see
doctored.
It's not doctored. It's just I downloaded this from the website and it I guess it messed up. But we can see he's just out there having a conversation and you know, they're just there, they're conversing. I think here come the authorities. It's really it's not as crazy of a scenario as you might expect, right? This is one that I've seen a lot of people arguing like, look, nothing's happening. All right. You know, this woman is telling him to leave. She's pushing him back. That's it. Can't come into the bar. Okay. You know, it's just a very mild kind of mid situation. Nothing to get panties in a bundle about, right? Like no violence, no loud screaming, things like this. But obviously, okay, he's being told to not enter. So she's pushing him back out, right? Here are the authorities now talking to Ezra and everything else. And, you know, at this point, this particular thing, if you guys don't know what happens after this, well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that this is Hawaii?
Let me see. What's the bar called?
Smith's Union Bar, and it's in Honolulu, Hawaii.
This is not the Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, this is not?
This is not Honolulu, Hawaii. This is actually this. Flash star Ezra Miller, cops called for other bar incident weeks before karaoke arrest. Ezra Miller certainly doesn't seem to be making friends in Hawaii. Not only were they just arrested for karaoke bar dispute, cops were also called for another disturbance at a bar just weeks before. In the video shot earlier this month, you see the Flash star get denied entry to a bar with a female employee physically preventing them from going inside the Chinatown area watering hole. Witnesses tell us the confrontation went down after Miller was kicked out of another establishment across the street. And things got so contentious between Miller and the female staffer that cops were called and more than a half a dozen officers showed up. You can see Miller chatting with the officers before they asked the actor to leave. Law enforcement said that Miller was given a trespass warning, but they were not arrested. So that's kind of a little bit on the weird side, isn't it? You know, when people are out there sharing this video as evidence that he didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I looked it up again. This was Union Bar. It isn't. This one is in Honolulu, Hawaii.
No, this is not.
I looked it up and I see a picture of the exact entrance, and it's in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Is it? Well, this is being reported as taking place outside of another bar.
Yeah, the other bar that he was in was not in Honolulu. The other bar was in like it was in another island.
Oh, okay. So TMZ reported it wrong then.
Yeah.
So that bar then what is that then?
The Smith. Okay, so the Smith's Union Bar is in Honolulu, and I think the bar that he was at a couple weeks ago was.
But that's not him being arrested. That's not Ezra being arrested.
This is not the arrest.
So it's another incident. Okay,
yeah,
but at the same bar or at a different bar?
I don't know if it's the same bar.
My biggest question.
Then that's like then okay. Then if
Well,
that's
hold
the
on.
same bar,
Here's the biggest
okay.
question I have with this video. Did you guys notice something?
What?
He was alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's. I've heard that he travels with people, and why is he alone? Like, why are like I don't see Ezra, like you see Ezra with a lot of people, like people that he like meets or people who are close to him that he travels with. Why is he alone? Where are the people that are with him? Why is he by himself?
Yeah.
That's something that's really odd because again, if you like follow him on social media, like Instagram and stuff, you
Oh,
always
it's the
see
same
Ezra,
bar.
right? But you
That's the
always
same.
see Ezra with people, right? But he's by himself. He's not with anyone. I think I saw
Yeah.
somebody there, but it looked like they were just taking pictures of him because he's a celebrity. But like, why is he alone?
The other thing. Okay, so yeah, so this is the same bar. So this is 2 weeks before he was denied or whatever.
No, it's not the same bar.
I looked it up.
It's not the same bar because
not
the
anymore.
Smiths, I just looked it up too. The Smiths Union is in Honolulu.
Yeah.
He was arrested in Hilo.
Oh, Hilo. Okay.
He was arrested.
Hilo,
He was
Hawaii.
arrested on the Big Island. Honolulu is not the Big Island.
Yeah. No.
You're
Okay,
Okay,
then
so there's a
Honolulu.
lot of conflicting information in regards to
There
like
is.
where. But I think what we can ascertain, the most of what we can ascertain here, is that the incident, what we just witnessed, was not Ezra being arrested for karaoke, as has been
No.
reported by people that I've seen. That I personally believe have a narrative that they are trying to run for their own personal gain. That's my take on it. And but we've ascertained that's not the case, and we've also learned that there's been 10 other instances of dealing with the authorities in Hawaii. So Ezra was clearly, he was fucking around.
I just wonder why he was alone because, like, it's weird. It's very out of character. And I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't think I'm just gonna say I don't agree with your take that anyone's using it for any personal gain, but that we could disagree on that. But
when the time is right, I can provide video evidence of that claim 100%. So
we're gonna be fighting, huh?
We're probably gonna be fighting. All I'm saying on that one is just like when you can tell that when this situation, which has been somewhat mismatched in the reporting, but there's someone out there, and I won't say their name, but like they're out there claiming that they've got the inside track and that they're saying this kind of stuff and they're using this video as evidence, and that's not accurate.
Well, I'm gonna say, like, clearly there's something going on with Ezra. That's like undeniable.
Clearly.
But my question is, like I said, we weren't there. Like, I always go with the, like, we weren't there. We could speculate based on what's publicly available. That's fine. But my thing is, like, Ezra, from what I've seen and what's being reported, like, clearly something's going on with Ezra personally. And as far as like the couple story, when I read the report on it, there's just like it comes off a little weird as far as the story. Again, wasn't there, so I don't know. But there something clearly happened. But I think that maybe it's more than what we're being told. So I'm gonna just like wait until more information out, and I would like to wait to see if Ezra's gonna speak on it. To give their side of the story, because there's two sides of the story. Well, there's three sides of the story. There's one side, the other side, and then in the middle is the truth. So I'm gonna just wait and see.
Well, did I do that on stream or was that in private? Because I did share to you or the stream, I don't know, how to get a restraining order in Hawaii is more strict than what people think it is.
You did mention it on stream, yeah. You mentioned it on stream here. So I think you've mentioned it on a couple of streams. I know you mentioned it here.
I've probably been repeating it so many times.
Yeah. I've heard you mention it before, and there was pushback from other people who, again, have a narrative they want to protect. And I get it. Look, when you want to get Ezra on a live stream, when you want to try to get that clout, chase it, man, chase it. But follow the facts as they present themselves. Actually do the research. That's the thing. I don't know. When you live your life, not doing research and whatever, it is what it is. But here's the thing with this, though. Here's the thing with this. is John Campea entered into the mix today. And he actually apparently has spoken to someone over at Warner Brothers and is now making a claim. I have a clip from this. Trust me, it's not the full 25-minute video. It's just like a little over 2 minutes of kind of breaking down what he heard and what he thinks might be happening or offering up suggestions. So let's give this a watch.
As I often do, you guys know I know some people in studio positions. And here's a little bit of inside baseball for you. A lot of people in my line of work have contacts at studios. A lot of people do. I'm not special. And what normally happens is we will often, people in positions like mine, we will write when there's a story coming out, we want a little bit more clarification or understanding of some things, or maybe get a little inside information. We write to these people, and the reality is 8 times out of 10, they just don't write back. Like they just don't get back to us. And then sometimes the 2 out of the 10 times they do get back to us, it'll be something very vague, very party line. Sometimes they'll say something a little nebulous. Sometimes they'll say something pretty specific. So when stuff was going on last week or earlier in the week with the Ezra Miller stuff, I wrote to somebody I knew at Warner Brothers, and I just asked, it was a short email, but it's just basically saying, hey, look, is Warner going to do anything about this? Are they going to address it this time? Is there a possibility you guys could part ways with Ezra Miller? And all that kind of stuff, right? Not really expecting to hear anything back. And then, yes, last night, I got a response that was a little cryptic, but said they're discussing options. They're discussing options. Now, before we blow that phrase way out of proportion, I want to remind everybody that discussing options can mean a lot of things. It could mean we have decided to get rid of Ezra Miller, and we are looking currently at the best ways to go about doing that. Okay, sure. That's one way you can look at it. But it could also mean that they've decided to do nothing about it, and they're just discussing how to spin that, that they're going to do nothing. It could also mean, it could mean a million things. They're discussing options. And also, when they say they're discussing options, that could be 3 junior vice presidents are going to have a lunch meeting about it. And if they can come up with anything, they'll pass it up. Or it could mean the executive board of Warner Brothers is currently sitting and meeting and talking about it, maybe wanting to get this thing settled before Big Papa Zaslav takes over in a week. And maybe they lose their jobs for not doing something. Or maybe they lose their jobs for doing something. I don't know. But they got a new boss coming. I think they want to try to clean up a little bit if they can. So it could mean a lot of things. I want to be very, very clear about that. Could mean a lot of things. But let's revisit the question. When people have been asking me, could they fire Ezra? I've been saying no. That answer could suggest I've been wrong. I'm not saying it is suggesting I'm wrong, but I am conceding that that response I got could suggest maybe that I'm wrong. And that in saying that they can't fire him, blah, blah, blah.
So it's an interesting take because it does really ask a lot of questions. Like, what does this mean?
Right. Like you said, it can mean a million things. And like the 3 main things it can, or the 4 or 5, whatever, I can't remember exactly how many listed. It's like one of them could be like how to spin it that they're keeping him.
Yeah.
Or how to spin it of them getting rid of him. Or like you said, junior executives or some like interns, that this person overheard to having lunch about it. Or the actual executives are having meetings and how to deal with it before the merger happens and like officially to deal with it. So then it's not something that's off the table when Zaslav comes in, or so then they are either fired for doing something or fired for not doing something. So they're like, it can mean a lot of things.
Well, I have a take on that. So he's right with the new boss coming in. Obviously, Zaslav. This is because here's the thing: is if Zaslav takes over on the 11th, Ezra goes in for the restraining order hearing on the 13th.
Oh.
I thought it was the 13th. It could 12th or 13th. Either way, it's like a day or two after that. So like it's already going to end up being a problem that is going to be on Zazaf's plate. And you know, if they want to deal with it, how they want to deal with it. Now, do I think they're going to fire him off, like reshoot the movie? No, but I think there's a reason why they pushed it back to June. And I don't think it's all VFX shots. I think they are, again, just like beforehand in 2020, when he choked that woman out and then ended up at Fandom and they said nothing about it. And then showed up at the next Fandom wearing a choker. You know, it was a little weird. And then there was a KKK incident and all the other weird behavior and the 10 incidents with the police. Ezra, while a nuisance at this point, and maybe not a full-on liability, is getting to that point where they are going to be a massive liability and Warner's is going to have to act. And so obviously what I think is, I think this is really going to be the only outing we see Ezra Miller in. It just, like, unless the movie pulls in $1 billion, you know what I mean? Unless if it's like an unmitigated smash, then I don't see Ezra sticking around after this.
No, I kind of unfortunately agree. I don't think they're going to reshoot the movie. I think that would cost them way too much money. And I don't think they want to do that. But I think well, hold on. I think that Jarbo is right that they're not going to recast. But I do think this might be the camel that breaks the back with Ezra moving forward. I think that that's pretty much a safe thing to say, unfortunately, because I mean, Ezra's going through something. I think it's probably best that he kind of takes a step back and figure things out before he continues his career.
I can see, like, I don't see them doing reshoots. I can see them, like, honestly, or if they are going to do reshoots because of this, the scene that they can possibly reshoot is, or scenes that they can reshoot are, like the last 15 minutes, you know, or the last 30 or whatever, the last couple minutes of the few minutes of that movie that shows them in the new timeline, and the post-credit scenes as well. Be like, oh, it changes look or whatever, you know, but like, and you don't have to really acknowledge it. You'd be like,
they're not going to redo it. They're not going to do that. Again, it's money, because then now on top of that, they're going to have to recast, and they're going to have to deal with a contract and pay. They're going to have the movie released just to get that out. It's already been shot. That it would be at this point dumb for them to do anything with this movie. It's shot, it's done. They need to just release it, and then after that, then they recast and do everything, because now everybody at this point is going to know why. It's not like they have to explain why Ezra is no longer the Flash. We all know, we've seen it. But there's no point. It's money that they would just be wasting. Right. And they're just gonna, it's already done. The movie's done, guys. So I mean, they're just gonna release it, and then after that, they might redo his contract and just be like, you breached contract. Like I said, it all depends too on his contract with the company.
Or another option that most likely is pull the Mads Mikkelsen move with it, what they do with Grindelwald. Just start the new movie with the new actor, you know.
Okay, they're not, the movie's shot. They're not.
No, they're not. No, they're not going to reshoot the Flash movie at all. But they might start the next appearance of his character with.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is that this movie is probably his last one for a while.
And in this Fantastic Beasts movie that's coming out next Friday is probably his last Fantastic.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone's like, "Whoa, they need to recast. They really need to recast." I'm like, they're not going to. The movie's done. Like, it's like, it'd be one thing if they were in production, they would have time to recast and do some reshoots, but it's done. It's over. It's ready to be dropped in theaters. They're not going to stop that and reshoot every scene, because again, they have to find a replacement, cast them, work out the contract there, pay that person. They've already paid Ezra, right? They're already going to pay him. He got paid. So, like, again, that'd just be extra money that they just didn't want to spend. So they're going to release the movie. And then after that, they'll probably just recast. Or maybe if they wanted to, like, maybe if you want me to play devil's advocate here, Caden, like, they could shoot an additional scene, an ending scene with a new person for the future. And then that'll just explain why Ezra is no longer playing the character. But they're not going to they're not going to do the whole movie. That's insane. Y'all are really asking way too much.
No, I don't think they're going to redo the movie. I don't think that's going to happen, but
No.
I do think that we're going to get it. And then afterward, because remember, this is meant to be kind of Flashpoint as well. So at that point in time, they have the ability to kind of go, well, all right, let's move on from this. We're kind of done with it anyway. Let's just recast. But I do agree. I see Paul here, Halogen Helix says, I call for a recast of the entire Justice League and start again. This franchise is in the toilet and they need to reset and just move forward. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I do like the movies, but I would feel like as far as a connected universe is concerned, they've definitely screwed the pooch, which is really funny because now I'm seeing like a lot of people go and then shifting and saying things like, well, I mean, being connected isn't all it's cracked up to be. I mean, like they don't need to be connected. It's like they've been building to this whole thing. At least see it through to the end or reboot everything, So that's kind of the problem is the lack of consistency. And I think that plays out with the audience. We'll have to wait and see how things go. Obviously, Ezra is in deep shit, I think. I think Ezra's in deep shit. And they're trying to figure out what they can do. It came at a really bad time. And the thing is, if Ezra becomes too much of a problem, a liability for the studio, they are just going to get rid of him. And that's going to be, you know what? That is Ezra's own fault. And what I want, if people listening to this, whenever they listen to this, is to look at the situation from the most objective way possible, which is you have a person who is in clear mental health crisis, having a mental health crisis. There's probably addiction issues, substance abuse issues. And at the same time, like trying to run defense for them, I think is a bad call because there's been enough evidence to suggest that there is a problem, and trying to kind of just hand wave it away for whatever reason. All right. Whatever reason is doing a disservice to Ezra in their time of need. That's my take on it.